Since the late 1880s, motion pictures, or films, have changed the very construct of the world. Their versatility and combination of visual and narrative information has made them a maximal form of expression and persuasion as compared to other forms of media. From a historical and social perspective,
I'm Spartacus!
There are three main forms of films that address the past or present in a way constructive to society. These are historical reconstructions, creative commentaries, and propaganda documentaries. Historical reconstructions.
7 years ago.
Historical reconstructions are most commonly seen as war movies. Actual historical tragedies are transformed into historical realistic fiction, dramatizing conflicts in a way intended to make audiences feel some way about a certain historical event or theme through direct exposure.
Are you not entertained?
For example, Kathryn Bigelow's The Hurt Locker warns about the violence of the Iraq War and exposes war's use as a drug, criticizing the frivolity of such conflicts and the blurred line between soldier and civilian in the modern day through both grotesque imagery and characters that personify war as Bigelow sees it. Steven Spielberg's Bridge of Spies dramatizes the legal side of the Cold War from the U-2 incident, emphasizing the nobility of America's fair law, the human cost of the Cold War, and the contentions between the two countries at the time. Creative commentaries.
There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo. And it's worth fighting for.
Creative commentaries are all around us, but one key example of this is science fiction films. Star Wars is a commentary on the Vietnam War. Star Trek calls for social justice in the 1960s. 2001's A Space Odyssey addresses the space race, and WALL-E bashes modern-day consumerism. The Mad Max series condemns capitalism, and Dune denounces fascism. Planet of the Apes discusses imperialism, the civil rights movement, Cold War tensions, slavery, religious fundamentalism, and more. Even Howard the Duck satirizes Cold War fear-mongering. These creative films go even further than dystopian novels can in the way that they put together these historical commentaries and action-packed entertainment to engage audiences further and push desired narratives and expression. Propaganda documentaries.
Mission to Moscow is my report to the American people as Ambassador of the United States to the Soviet Union. I wrote it as I saw it and lived it. Warner Brothers have courageously filmed it, true to the history as I saw it in the making.
Propaganda documentaries have had arguably the most direct effect on history. Commonly pushed out by governments to justify their actions, these films had a way of massively persuading the public. Nazi propaganda Triumph of the Will showcases Hitler's 1934 Nuremberg rally, using angles and comparisons specifically to enhance Hitler's power and showing the scale of the event to push German nationalism. Japanese Relocation is an American government-produced short film that shows footage from inside the internment camps and shows selectively more positive aspects of them to push the perspective that these laws are justified by visually exposing the inside of these camps.
We are setting a standard for the rest of the world in the treatment of people who may have loyalties to an enemy nation. We are protecting ourselves without violating the principles of Christian decency.
Overlap often exists between these categories. Jojo Rabbit shows a German kid in the context of World War I/the Holocaust with his imaginary friend Hitler whilst his rebel mother hides a Jewish girl in their walls, commentating on the hyper-nationalism imposed on the German youth versus the emotional gravity of the event. Disney made anti-Nazi government-sponsored propaganda, using familiar cartoon characters to villainize the enemy.
Glad to be a citizen of the United States of America.
Overall, films have had an immense impact on how society views the present and history. They allow us to put ourselves in the perspective of others and become fully immersed in a visit to the past or some far-off land that makes us think more critically about history. Visual techniques like lighting, composition, camera movement, and production design further emphasize these topics beyond the narratives that are possible in other forms of media. They're as entertaining as they are almost unnoticeably manipulative, making them the most effective form of media.